Hello everyone, FireRed here, and today I'm going to be telling you how best to get a lucky egg in Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen. Now, if I sound a little bit weird today, I am starting to get sick, but I wanted to get this video out today anyway. So we're just going to get into this, and I will teach you guys the exact method I used to get a lucky egg in Pokemon FireRed on the Switch. I just managed to get myself one yesterday. I got mine in under 2 hours, but there is a good chance that if you're hunting for this lucky egg, it could take you a little bit longer than that, if not a lot longer. It really comes down to luck, and I think I did get pretty lucky with mine. But I'm going to go over the method, tell you all about how it works and what exactly I did, and then you can decide for yourself if you think it's worth doing. So there's a few things we need to go over before we actually get to looking for a lucky egg. The way you get a lucky egg in this game, the only way to get one is from wild Chanseys in the Safari Zone. It's the only place they spawn in this game. Unlike some other Kanto games, they do not spawn in the Cerulean Cave where Mewtwo is. They only spawn in the Safari Zone in FireRed and LeafGreen. Now, Chanseys are not only a rare encounter in the Safari Zone themselves, but they only have a 5% chance to actually be holding a lucky egg. So it's pretty rare, but we're going to be doing some things that are going to make things in general go a little bit smoother for you than it otherwise would. So one of the first things you want to do, you want to get yourself a level 26 Pokemon that can learn Surf. It is crucial, trust me. This will help a lot, it'll make things go faster, and you want this Pokemon to be the only Pokemon in your party for this. So get yourself to Fuchsia City first before you have this, so you can, get here. One of the way I got my Pokemon, I just went south to Route 19 and surfed, and there's tentacles that can be from level, I think, 10 to 30, and I found one at level 25, caught it, and then just gave it a rare candy. You can do that. There's many other places you can fish or surf for Pokemon. A lot of areas have water Pokemon that can be in the 20s, so just whatever way you can get a Pokemon with surf that's level 26, do that. Have it be the only Pokemon in your party. And then you want to come up here to the Safari Zone. That's the wrong way. I mean, if you have a Pokemon that also has Cut and Surf, that would be ideal, because then you can just, But either way, once you get up here, you want to have some repels, ideally some max repels, also in your bag. And you want to come here, you want to... the way I did it was I would use a max repel before I go in. Why is my text so slow? Hold on. There we go. And then after you did that, save. And then we want to go in. Now, the reason we're using repels and a level 26 Pokemon is because the area we're going to be going to find Chansey, there are a few Pokemon, I think Paris and then some Execute. The level 26 Pokemon and the repels will make it so those Pokemon can't appear at all, which will slightly increase the odds of finding Chansey. Not by a lot, but enough that's worthwhile. So you want to surf. This is why you want Surf, because you want to come to that little surf pond, surf straight across to come up here to get to this area faster. You want to be in this area. This is area 2, I believe, which is the northern area. Chances have a 4% chance to spawn here, whereas in the central area they only have a 1% chance. Now, you have two options. You can either do the method of tapping the D-pad like that, where you don't actually move, but you can still get encounters. This will make it so your steps don't go down, so you can stay in here forever. But I honestly think it's better to get on your bike and just run around back and forth. You'll get encounters a lot faster, and you're probably going to be resetting your game a decent amount anyway, so trying to save steps is not really that worthwhile. It's just faster to do it this way. And with how long this is potentially going to take, you want to just make it faster. You don't want to be sitting here, just tapping back and forth and having all the encounters take forever. It's not really worth it. But you're basically looking for a Chansey, and then there's a specific method you can use with the bait and throwing Pokeballs, what will make Chansey less likely to flee. Because if you've played these games before, and in any of these older games with these Safari Zones, you'll know the way they work is you don't actually battle the Pokemon, you just throw bait or throw rocks or throw Pokeballs, and they have a chance to just flee the battle. And Chansey is one of those Pokemon that is usually pretty likely to flee. So you want to be using a specific method that we'll go over when we actually find a Chansey. That will make it give you the best odds for Chansey to stick around and for you to ideally catch one. But even with the method we're using, there's a decent chance that a lot of the Chanseys you find will just run away. Even turn 1. So it's not a foolproof method, but it's going to be the best method you can use. And we're getting pretty unlucky here not finding one, I'll be honest. Damn. Alright, I'm going to cut to when I find one, because this is taking longer than I thought it would. Okay, I finally found a Chansey. That took so long. So much longer than it was yesterday when I was doing it. Okay, so once you've found a Chansey, there's a specific method you want to use with the bait and the balls. You don't want to ever throw rocks, well, at least not most of the time. So there's a guy called Professor Rex. They came up with this amazing method, and I will link to this little graph in the description of the video so you can look at it yourself. But there's a specific method you can see here where you want to throw a certain amount of bait and then balls, and you want to follow this graph as you go through the battles with these Chanseys, and it will give you the best odds of the Chanseys sticking around and you being able to catch them. So the way it works is the number on the left side is how many balls you have left. You want to follow the line on the chart depending on the number of balls you have left. So whatever number of balls you have on each turn, you will follow the graph as it goes. Now you're not always starting from the beginning. You're just going down the line and across to the right as you're going. So at first you would throw 2 baits, and then you would throw 3 balls, and then a bait, and then 2 balls, and etc, etc. But as the balls go down, you would still be doing the same thing. So you would throw 2 bait, throw a ball, and then you would go down to 29 balls, but then you would still throw the second ball, and then down to 28, throw the third ball. And you're going to the right, but also going down as you're throwing balls, and you're just following the exact method here. Now, if at any point during this method text comes up saying the Chansey is watching carefully, there is a second part of the chart that you go to, and then you go to the second part of the chart, you can look at how many balls you have, and then you start from the very beginning of this one. So you would immediately throw 2 more bait. If you have, say 30 Pokeballs, or like more than 20, you would throw 2 bait again immediately, and then start throwing balls again and do the same thing. And anytime it says the Chansey's watch carefully, you go back to the very beginning of this chart, where you throw 2 bait and then balls. If you ever get low enough, down to like, 6 or less balls where you're just throwing Pokeballs, then do that. Just do whatever the chart tells you. But that's all you're doing. Start with the first chart at the very beginning of every battle with the Chansey. If at any point it says it's watching carefully, start from the second chart. And you want to just make sure you're doing whatever the chart says, depending on how many Pokeballs you have left. You're just throwing bait, throwing balls, throwing bait, throwing balls. This will give you the best odds of the Chansey sticking around and then you being able to catch it. I followed this and I managed to catch a decent amount of the Chanseys. A lot of them will still run away. Even if you throw bait, there's still a chance turn 1 the Chansey will just flee immediately. I had some battles where I was battling one Chansey trying to catch it for like 15 turns and it just wouldn't get caught, and then it fleed, which feels like such a waste. But that's all you're doing. So we'll try this out, and I'll show you guys in this battle. So you throw a bait, it might run away. It says it's eaten, so we're good. We throw another bait, and it's eaten, so we're good. So now we can throw balls. Whenever it says it's watching carefully, that basically means it's reset the bait, so it's no longer got a chance to like stick around after throwing a ball at it. But even if it doesn't say that, there's still a chance that after every ball or every bait it can just run away. Okay, and we almost got it there. And there you go, like it didn't even say the watching carefully, but it fled. That will happen. But you just follow that, catch as many Chanseys as you can. The reason you want to have only the one Pokemon in your party, the Tentacle, is because whenever you catch a Chansey, you want to immediately be able to see if it has a lucky egg on it. You don't want to have to go all the way to the PC. It'll be in your party and you can just immediately check it. If you somehow get a full team of Chanseys, or your steps run out in the safari zone, or you run out of balls, you simply just reset the game. On the Switch, the way you reset the game, you just press the 4 face buttons, A, B, Y, and X. Just press all 4 of them at once. That'll reset the game. And then because you saved right in front of the safari zone, we're right here. And we've already got a rappel on, and we can just go right back in and try again. And that's all you do. Follow the graph. Make sure you have this level 26 water Pokemon so you can get to the area 2 quickly. And you can stop some of the other Pokemon like Paris and Execute from spawning as much. And you just follow the chart. It'll give you the best odds of catching Chanseys, and hopefully you will get lucky and find one with a lucky egg really quickly. I managed to get mine in another 2 hours, like I said. It's not gonna be that quick for you. It's very unlikely to be that quick for you. There's a good chance it'll take longer. I got very lucky, like I said. But if you want to get a lucky egg, this is your best odds of doing it. But it's entirely up to you whether or not you want to actually, you know, take the time to do this, because like I said, there's a chance this will take a while, but that's just the way it is. So good luck to you if you're doing this. Hopefully you find yours pretty quickly, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good rest of your day. Good luck with the hunting. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.